Okay, so we went over PEMDAS on Monday. Today we're looking at Gemdas, okay? And it's the same thing. It's numerical expressions. Gemdas, the only difference is it's talking about groups. So it's the same as PEMDAS, except there are several groups. We're looking at groupings, okay? So it would be like this. G could be parentheses, brackets, or braces. Okay, that's all the G stands for, is groups. Okay, instead of just P for parentheses, it's groups. All right, and then you have the E, which again, not 5th grade. We have M and D, multiply and divide from left to right. And then A and S, which is add and subtract from left to right. So Gemdas is the same as PEMDAS. It's just we're talking about multiple groups instead of just parentheses. Okay? So we're going to do it exactly the same way. So let's do an example. If I have 5 times, let's have a bracket, parentheses 26 minus 4, close the parentheses, minus parentheses 4 plus 6, close the parentheses, and then close the bracket. What this means is I'm going to do everything inside of the brackets first. All right, and inside of the brackets, I have 2 sets of parentheses. So we're going to do what's inside the parentheses from left to right. So that means I'm going to start with 26 minus 4. All right, 26 minus 4 is 22. So now everything that I underlined, I answered. Everything else is going to fall down to the next line. So I'm going to bring down the 5 times, and I still need that bracket. I don't need the parentheses anymore for that one. I'm going to put my subtraction sign, parentheses 4 plus 6, close the parentheses, close the bracket. Okay? All right. So again, 5 times, bracket 22 minus, parentheses 4 plus 6, close parentheses, close the bracket. So I still have the bracket, and inside of the bracket, I still have parentheses. So I have to now solve that, 4 plus 6. So 6 plus 4, or 4 plus 6, is 10. Everything that I didn't underline is going to fall down to the next line. 5 times bracket 22 minus 10, which was the answer to the parentheses, close the bracket. All right, now I have 5 times bracket 22 minus 10. I'm still gotta finish everything that's grouped together, so now I'm gonna subtract 22 minus 10. All right, so that would be 12. Bring down the 5 and bring down the multiplication symbol. Okay, I'm done with the brackets because I've got my answer. Now all I have to do is multiply 5 times 12. And that's it. Okay, you're doing the exact same thing. You're doing one operation at a time. The only difference is we have to look at the groupings. And if you notice, I put parentheses inside, and then bracket, and then braces, meaning I do everything in parentheses, then I do everything in the brackets, then I do everything in the braces. Then I'll worry about multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. Okay, let's do another one. How about 36 divided by bracket 'All right, which step should I do first? Okay, what am I going to solve first? What problem are you going to solve? All right, you should have said 18 minus 10, because the first thing is the parentheses that are inside the brackets. From left to right, 18 minus 10 is 8. Now you bring down everything, 36 divided by bracket 8 minus parentheses 8 minus 6, close the parentheses, close the bracket. All right, what will you solve now? What operation will you do? What will the problem be? All right, you should have said 8 minus 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. Now we got to bring down 36 divided by bracket 8 minus 2, close the bracket. Now 8 minus 2. Wait, what you solve next? 8 minus 2 is 6. Bring down 36 divided by 6. And now 36 divided by 6. So in other words, 6 times what number gives you 36? What can you multiply 6 by to get 36? All right, you should have said 6. Okay, so I'm really not doing anything different or harder. I'm just changing the way that we look at the information, the way we group it. So here's another one. Try this one on your own, and I want you to give me just the answer. Okay, see if you can solve that and give me the answer. What will your final answer be? Okay, you should have started with 2 times 5. That's 10. 14 plus bracket. 10 was the parentheses. Plus parentheses 3 times 8. Close the parentheses. Close the bracket. And you should have said 3 times 8. Which is 24. Bring down the 14 plus the bracket. I still need it because we got to finish the problem inside. 10 plus 24. Then you should have said 10 plus 24 is 34. Bring down 14 plus 34. There you go. The answer is 48. And if you notice, every time I work a problem, I am funneling down to the answer. I start with a big problem, and I solve a piece, and I make it smaller. Solve another piece, and I make it smaller. Solve another piece, make it smaller, until I have the complete answer. Okay? So again, PEMDAS and GEMDAS are very much the same. The only difference is the G for GEMDAS. GEMDAS means that you're going to do all the groupings first. Whatever's grouped has to be completed. All right, let's do another one. All right, how about how would you solve this one? What would you do first? Okay, so think about what would you do first? What would you do next? What comes after that? All of this is grouping, right? Okay, so first you should have said 2 times 6. Because in this first group, you have parentheses and you have brackets. So we're going to do the parentheses first. 2 times 6 is 12. And we're going to bring down that bracket. Plus 3. Close the bracket. Plus, close the next bracket is 35. Minus parentheses 7 times 3. Close the parentheses, close the bracket. So think about what comes next. Can you go to the next bracket, or do we need to finish this bracket that we're on? Okay, you really have to finish what you started. So let's finish this one. 12 plus 3 is 15 plus bracket 35 minus parentheses 7 times 3. Close the parentheses, close the bracket. All right, finish it up and see what you get as your final answer. All right, so 7 times 3 is 21. Then we're going to bring down the 15 plus bracket 35 minus 21. Close the bracket. All right, and then we're going to do 35 minus 21. and that is 14. And I'm going to bring down 15 and plus. And now we're going to solve 15 plus 14. And we get 29. Okay, so if you notice, every time I underline what I'm going to solve, bring down that answer, and then bring down everything else that's not underlined. Underline what I'm going to solve, bring down that answer, and then bring down everything else in order, the way it's written. Underline what I'm going to solve in the next equation, bring that down, and then bring down the rest of the problem exactly as is. Underline what I'm going to solve next, put that answer down, bring down everything, underline what I'm going to solve, bring down the answer. Okay, every time you're going to underline the operation that you're solving, and then everything else comes to the next level. All right, that's all there is to grouping. You just have to keep working in order. Okay, here's one more, and then we're going to do some rearranging with parentheses to see if we can make certain numbers. Okay, solve that one real quick and see what your final answer is. Okay, you should have said 15 plus 5 is 20, plus parentheses 5 times 2, and then that still has a bracket around it, divided by 3. Then you do 5 times 2, which is 10. Bring down all your numbers and operation signs, divided by 3. Then 20 plus 10 is 30, divided by 3. 30 divided by 3. So in other words, 3 times what equals 30? And that would be 3 times 10. So your answer should have been 10. Okay. All right, so let's look at some where you have to take and rearrange the parentheses to make the problem correct. Okay. So let's try 12 plus 6 divided by 2 plus 4. And we want it to equal 13. So that's the answer we want. So we have to figure out, where can I put the parentheses to make 13 be the answer? Well, right off the bat, you know, or we should know, that when we're doing order of operation, anything that's in parentheses has to be done first. All right? If there's not parentheses, we do all multiplication and division first. So that means this would be done first, 6 divided by 2. So does it make sense to put this inside parentheses? Okay, we have to think about it. All right, so let's think. Let's put the parentheses here and see what we get. So we got to do parentheses first. That would be 18 divided by 2 plus 4. And then no parentheses, no multiplication, just division. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Bring down the plus and the 4, and 9 plus 4 is 13. So that would be a good place to put the parentheses, right? Putting the parentheses around 12 and 6 made it correct. All right, let's try another way. What if I did 12 plus 6 divided by 2 plus 4? What if I put the parentheses around the 2 plus 4? When you solve that, what would it give you as an answer? 2 plus 4 is 6. Bring down the 12 plus 6 divided by 6. Okay, we're going to do the division first. 6 divided by 6 is 1, because 1 times 6 equals 6, right? Bring down the 12 plus 12 plus 1 is 13. So that one also equal 13. All right. What if I put it around the division? Okay. What if I put it here? 2 will go into 6 3 times. 12 plus 3 plus 4. What's 12 plus 3? 15 plus 4, and 15 plus 4 is 19. So that would be incorrect, right? So you had two options for this one. You could have put the parentheses around 12 and 6, or 12 plus 6, or you could have put the parentheses around 2 plus 4. Okay, so let's do 42 minus 24 divided by 6, and we want it to equal 3. So I know order of operations says parentheses first. Right now there's not any. Exponents we don't do. And then it says multiply and divide from left to right. So that means if I was to follow order of operation, you would do 24 divided by 6 first, right? But I needed not do 24 divided by 6 first. So where could I put the parentheses? Okay, how about between 42 minus 24? Put that in between parentheses. All right, and then you subtract. All right, so when you finish this problem, 42 minus 24, you get your answer, and divide it by 6. Did you get 3? All right, 42 minus 24 is 18 divided by 6. 18 divided by 6. 6 times 3 is 18. So, yes, that gave me my answer. All right, what if I have 9 plus 16 minus 2 times 4? What am I going to do to make it equal 17? All right, so I want you to place the parentheses. So rewrite the problem and put your answer onto the notes, or where I do the open-ended question. I want you to type in your answer. What would it look like? Where would you put your parentheses? Okay, if you put the parentheses around the 2 and the 4, great job. Because 2 times 4 is 8. 9 plus 16 minus 8. 16 plus 9 is 25. 25 minus 8 is 17. Now, I know I said you didn't have to do that because that was the obvious choice. So is there another way? What was the other way you could have done that? Okay, so you could have also said 9 plus 16 minus 2 times 4. You could have also said, put the parentheses around 9 and 16. 9 plus 16 is 25 minus 2 times 4. Order of operation now says I'm going to do 2 times 4 first. 2 times 4 is 8. 25 minus 8 is 17. Okay, so it's all about just looking and playing with the numbers to see where it's going to go to fit the best. All right, let's look at one more where there's a little bit of a different circumstance. 5 times 2 plus 4 plus 3. See if you can figure out where the parentheses are going to go to make this one be equal to 45. So how do I make that problem right there equal 45? What can I do? All right, so let's look and see. I could say, put the parentheses around the 2 and the 4. And I do 2 plus 4 is 6. 5 times 6 plus 3. 5 times 6 is 30. Plus 3 would make it 33. No, that's not 45. So what if I put it around the 4 and the 3? 4 plus 3 is 7. So 5 times 2 plus 7. Then multiplication first. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 7 is 17. No, that doesn't work. But I can put it around all of those numbers and do all the addition first. 2 plus 4 is 6. Plus 3 is 9. 5 times 9 is 45. So this is the equation that's going to be equal to 45 when I put the parentheses around all three numbers. So we need to practice that, okay? We need to practice seeing if you can figure out where the equation or where the parentheses are going to go. So I'm going to send out through Google Classroom an assignment for simplifying, and then for also some handwritten problems for you to solve by moving the parentheses around, okay? If you need help with it, you need to message me. This video will be your work for Tuesday and also for Wednesday, okay? The video is for today. The work will be for tomorrow so that you're staying up to date as close as possible with the rest of the class, okay?